If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Granger understands that you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Granger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators Today. Today, we have a special guest.
Joe Urbanus.
Welcome. So I'm super excited to chat with you because I feel like this is going to be, I love talking to artists, and I liked your sound. It was interesting. And I loved your, is it that their cover for the new song? It's really cool. So I'd like to go back to the beginning and talk a little bit about your childhood and kind of what was that like, growing up, and then kind of how did you find your way into the music world?
Okay. Yeah. So I grew up in a really big family. I'm actually at my parents' house right now yeah, so I grew up in a big Catholic family. You could see there's a picture of a saint over here. This is my dad's office. He's a deacon. But yeah, so I grew up in a big Catholic family. Um, so pretty conservative. So I never like listened to rap music much as a kid. My dad had like U2 CDs laying around all over the place. So I listened to a lot of U2 growing up. And then whatever I heard on the radio, I think it was like when I was in middle school, I first heard like Linkin Park, and then with Fort Minor in it. And then I also heard some of Fort Minor's rap songs. Those are probably like my first favorite rap songs when I was a kid. I liked "In the End" by Linkin Park so much, the rap section of it, that I even like printed off the lyrics to like so I could rap along with it. I think I was like 8 or 9, but
Love
yeah.
that.
And then in high school I got into a lot of different music. I liked rock music. Yeah, that was real the golden age of rap, between 2009 and 2013. Drake's "Take Care" and "Nothing Was the Same," and
Yeah.
then Lil Wayne's album, The Carter Four. That one was like really staple. I love that. To this day, I still like that album. I still go back and listen to it. And then I joined the Army after high school, and yeah, I still had a lot of different music I was listening to. Country. I got into some really heavy rock music, and
Yeah.
then bounced between that and rap. And then I had a really heavy indie phase for a while. I was listening to bands like Alt J, Wildcat, Glass Animals. So really got heavy into that. A lot of British indie too.
Nice.
Arctic Monkeys and so many bands. I forget the names of them, but and then I started making my own music. I kind of wanted to learn an instrument, so I tried playing the harmonica for a little bit, and then I wanted to move over to the strings, so I learned the ukulele, and then I kind of went over to the guitar from that because
Nice.
one of my buddies had done the same thing. So I was like, okay. And then I made a couple songs. I had like my artist name was Abagatha at the time. It was kind of a twist on my last name, Urbanus.
Love it.
I just made a couple songs, and then I kind of put music away for a little bit. I would just pick up the guitar. And then when I got to college after the Army, I got into rap music a lot again. I was on the football team for a short amount of time, and that's what they mostly listened to. I ended up breaking my leg, so
Oh
I
my
wasn't
God.
able to keep playing. Yep, so it's unfortunate. But the team that I played for, they're really good this year. They're in the playoffs, UW Lacrosse.
Nice.
Um, they're first seeded in their section. They beat their team last week 62-7, so maybe they make it to
Wow.
the national championship. So really proud of those guys. But yeah, but then after that, after I after I broke my leg, I kind of got into like reading a lot of like philosophy, and I changed my degree over to physics, and
Nice.
I started writing poetry, and then just kind of put my poetry over some beats, and yeah, I'm like 23 at this time, and I wrote my first rap song, and then after that, just kind of kept writing and making it. You know, I'm 28 now, and over the course of the past 5 years, yeah, I've like tried to kind of put together, you know, like consolidate like mini little albums or whatever, mini little stuff. Didn't really hang on to it for a long time. I was never really happy with how they turned out. So and I, you know, put it down and picked it up because life got easy or harder, you know, too many things going on. But then yeah, then when I picked it back up this last time, I was like, well, let's try out the studio. And then I went to Carpet Booth and I recorded a small EP album. It had 5 tracks. 4 of them were published on Spotify.
Nice.
The fifth one was over um, Jay Z's Story of OJ
Hmm.
beat, but I just
Hmm.
rapped over it. And it's called Not the Story of OJ. It's on YouTube, but it's just a bundle. It's nothing crazy. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I really think I'm going to give it a shot at trying to put together an album, you know, an LP. So, yeah, so right after that, which is this is just this past September, um, yeah, I just scheduled out a bunch of times and just kept recording until I got to 10 songs. Well, we have 11, but one of them's it's over a Pink Floyd "Wish You Were Here" track. So
Yeah.
that's not on Spotify, that's on YouTube. Just because I didn't go out of my way to try and get um the sampling fees are pretty heavy on a popular
Crazy.
song like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I just like put it out there. If people find it and listen to it, that's cool. But yep, so and then with this last this last album, I was really happy with how it came together. Some of the lyrics I had been writing for a long time. I mean, June 2nd, which is the third track I think on the album, that was the second like rap that I ever wrote. But I just kept, you know, bringing it up to different beats and changing it over time. And finally, it just that's how I wanted to try and do it as fast as I could. So that's what I did. I tried to do it as fast as I possibly could. You know, it slows down a little bit here and there, and then at the end of that song, I kind of, yeah, it was kind of like impulsive at the studio, but I was like, I'm done rapping this. I've just done this song so many times, just sick of it, you know, it's done and over with. And then the producer kind of makes like, adds a bunch of like audio effects and it kind of turns into like, I don't know if I'd say a little bit of an EDM song for the second half of it. But
Nice.
yeah, so, you know, every song's got its own little like, ever got its own little like idea. They weren't all made the same at all, lyrics
Nice.
wise. But yeah, so I'd say that'd probably be the story.
Nice. That's very cool. I love that. And I love so I'm curious about so the new this new song that you have now, Manhattan, right? And so tell me about the process of making that song. Where'd that come from? And also your name. How would you describe your style, by the way? I'm
Okay.
very curious.
Yeah. So, and just to make sure to work out. So the album is called Manhattan,
Manhattan, yeah.
and then my artist name is Fortitude.
Fortitude.
And then the first song, the main song, is also called Fortitude. So it's a little confusing. So that wasn't done on purpose. That was just the
Ah.
way. Because as soon as the song was done, I'm like, well, I have to call it Fortitude. Um, I'm like, but that's my name. I'm like, well, I guess that's just the way it is. But yeah, but like the highlight song of the album, Fortitude, it's about like the virtue of fortitude, kind of seen through the eyes of a soldier. There's like 2 parts of the song, you know, kind of divided with the chorus. And the first part of the song is kind of about like an I guess it would say like a fortitude that's a little easier to come about, you know, this bravery when you know, in attacking your enemies, overcoming your enemies and stuff like that. You know, the first half kind of describes like, you know, soldiers in World War II or just soldiers in general. And then there's kind of a portion about like a soldier diving into like a foxhole, into a
Mm,
tunnel, like in Vietnam. So they're just ready to fight, you know, they're just there for victory. And then the second half kind of describes like a more difficult fortitude. The first section of the second half shows like a soldier in the trenches and he's cold and he's low on ammo, hard in sleep, and the enemy's coming and they can't retreat. So the enemy's gonna just overcome them. They're probably gonna die. But then, he kind of he's like reflecting all these reasons as to why, almost like it's almost like just for him to despair, like, oh, I
Mm.
should just give up almost, it doesn't quite say that, but then, but in the face of all that, he still rises to the moment and says like, well, if I'm going to die, like I'll die in honor, let freedom ring, let freedom ring. So, he kind of makes this decision that he's going to fight to the death,
Mhm.
despite the odds being against him. And then the second part of the second section, describes this like this decorated Vietnam vet coming off the plane. So he's been there, done that. He has a Purple Heart even, so he's been, shot or injured in some way, shape, or form. And Silver Cross, so he's done like these valorous. He's a man of valor, and the people there are just not treating him good. They're treating him like he's an enemy, and these are the people that he's fought for, like the people that he loves, his fellow countrymen. So it's like a different kind of endurance. It's such a
Mm.
different it's a difficult thing to endure. That those that you love are persecuting you. It's this it's this more like perfect fortitude because of how like perfect in its difficulty. So, I think, I mean, at this moment, I can almost think of like, and then this is kind of unintentional, but I can almost think of like the Christian equivalency of that, of like when Christ came into Jerusalem during Palm Sunday. He was like hailed by all these people, but then he was put to death just a few days later.
Right. Right.
But that's like the ultimate fortitude. So, so there's a lot of different like layers in there in the song,
Mm.
describing this virtue.
That's interesting. I almost kind of correlate to also the music industry, right? The odds are so up against us, right? To get your workout because I mean, there's so many, it's so saturated. And then
Hmm.
to just keep going it's like, you're gonna just you obviously you believe in yourself and you believe in what you have, the gift that you have, and your story you have to share. You're beating the odds. You're to keep continue to it's a crazy business that we're in.
Hmm.
But
No, yeah. Oh, I absolutely agree. I think, especially with like when I started looking over how to market it and stuff like that, it was like, well, you have to make like these TikTok poppy songs, or
yeah.
you have to like have some sort of influence over, I guess you would say, like, I wouldn't say like the game necessarily, but like, like yeah, Instagram and all these things. And I'm not like really involved with those. Like I made
Mhm.
an Instagram for promotion, but I don't really use it. I have like a personal Facebook. That's about it. So it's like all these different things, and I don't know. It's like you have to have this like appeal to people, and a lot of music in today's like a lot of the poppy music right now, like some of it's good, but some of it's good because it appeals to things like oh, and I know this might upset some people, but like avarice, like pride, like
Yeah.
greed,
Yeah.
um, violence. There's a lot of themes of violence. Some of them are cool. Some of them
Hmm.
are a little overdone. There's a lot of sexual violence
Oh yeah.
in rap songs. Like I think to myself, like some of the things I heard said on rap songs, like that I hear at the gym, like if I were to walk up to a woman and say this to her, like
Yeah, it's
everybody would
like
be like, yeah, everyone would be like, that's like, that's like, what do you call it? Like that's like a sexually misconduct thing, but everyone's like listening to somebody saying it. I don't know. It just doesn't really, yeah,
it's
I don't want to,
crazy.
yeah, I don't want to dog on people's arts. And I understand these people come from different places and
Yeah.
that's what it is. But to me, like, I don't want to sit there and say to myself, well, to be successful, I have to appeal to this,
Hmm.
like I don't
Hmm.
want to like that's not who I am. That's not what my music is about. My music does get violent at times, or it does get graphic at times. So it's not like I wouldn't describe my rap music as like Christian rap, but
Okay.
it's like it is my rap. Like I'm Catholic and I am Christian, so like that comes to the surface, in a few like tracks, particularly like Mystical Rose, which is, that's the shortest track on the album, but that's about like our Blessed Mother, the Mother of God.
Hmm.
But that's the only one that is like explicitly about anything that is like Christian. So, but there's different ones. Like there's the Pride Leads to Destruction. It's about this king that comes to rule. He comes from nothing and comes to rule, and then he like just destroys everybody around him. But then God just strikes him dead. Um, so it's like this crazy story, and there's Christian themes present, but I wouldn't call it Christian rap the way that I would describe like um I don't know, like
Like a
I'm trying to
Maverick, I
there's not
guess, or some type of I get maybe NF, maybe not NF
yeah,
because
like like Toby Mac
Toby
or
Mac, yeah, yeah,
yeah. Yeah, NF is good. He's more like on that. He's more like how to say it. He's more like adolescent kind of he appeals to adolescents. He does a very good job at it. He's a really good
yeah,
rapper.
yeah.
But yeah, but for me it's like I think mine's more catered to like more deeper thinking
Hmm.
individuals.
Hmm.
And it's decent ambient music too. So even if you don't want to listen closely, you can just have it on. I think some of the songs almost sound better when they're turned down low and they're ambient. You almost like pick up a
Ah,
little extra tune out of them. But yeah, so there's different stuff going on.
yeah. No, yeah, I love that. I was going to ask you, like, how did your family take it when you were like, I'm gonna do this? Were they like, oh my God, no? Like,
Uh yeah. Ha. So there's like an unspoken rule in my house that we don't talk about my rap music to my mom. Um so she doesn't like she just doesn't care for it.
okay.
My dad doesn't really care for it either. My siblings though, like I have a lot of I have a lot of like artists in my family, in my immediate family and my extended family too. My brother Jake makes music, so he was all about it. He's actually at the end of one of my songs, Castles in the Sand. He does the final chorus. That's him singing it. So
Nice.
yeah. So my brother Anthony has done a couple like country albums too. Um, a lot of my siblings, they know that I've like rapped for a while and stuff
Nice.
like that. But so I told them I was like doing this. Um, for the promotion, I kept the promotion stuff pretty hush hush. I just didn't want to make it a big deal. They know about it, but
Right.
I don't really, yeah, I'll like keep people up to date, like, oh, hey, this is going on, or oh, dang, I missed my phone interview because or something like that. But yeah,
I love
so,
it.
yeah, other than that, I mean, it's been fine.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. I love asking this question, a really fun question. If you could be managed by any artist, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh, if I could be managed by an artist, the first, oh, geez,
Living or dead?
living or dead. I would, you know what? It would either be, I'm like torn between two people, but I would probably say like I'd love to be managed by Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a great one.
Yeah. Um, like on a personal level, I think him and I would agree with certain stuff, and I think there are certain things that we would also disagree with. But I think that like we're both like deeper introspective thinkers. Um, and then I would also think of Bono, the lead singer to
Oh,
U2. But
hmm,
I think Bono and Kendrick Lamar are both similar in the fact that they want to push that artistic envelope. You know what I mean?
right.
Like they want to show people their art, regardless of whether it's the trendy art or
Hmm.
something like that. Like you look at the song or just Kendrick's most recent album, um, Mr. Morale and the Big
Steppers, I think, right?
yeah, the Big Steppers. I always forget it, but I'm still stuck on Mad Good Kid, Mad City. That's like
Oh, it's
best
a
album ever.
great
But
one.
yeah, so you just see what he did with that album, just in the music videos alone, like just really incredible art. It's art that at first you're just like not so sure about, but then
Hmm.
once you see the whole thing, you're like, wow, like you really, you know, you really like paint a picture. and it's different kind of music in the sense that you listen to it once. It's not like music that you listen on repeat, but it's like music that you come back to. You're like, oh
Yeah.
wow, like I'm kind of like, I kind of like I'm kind of like feeling like, oh, I kind of want to get this like this edgy kind of feel that this artist presents and it gives it to you. You're like, oh, that's good. It's not like true radio music that's just playing in the back,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is also great music too. Every there's different forms of art. So, but I appreciate that, and the fact that Kendrick can make both of those types of songs. The same with, U2 or Bono, they can create both those types of songs.
Yeah.
So,
Those are great answers. That's I like that. That's really good. Do you
mhm.
do you feel like the music industry overall, and also maybe the rap industry as well, do you feel like it's changing for the better?
No, yeah. I think a lot of the people who are like quote unquote at the top, I think have really kind of get I think some of them have gotten stuck in like trendy art kind of things.
Yeah.
I think the more social media becomes prevalent, I think, I think that just kind of gets people caught up in like, oh, this is what people want to hear because this is what's trending on social media. But I think that there's like social media and then there's people's lives,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, sometimes I'm like surprised to see what's like who someone is on social media. Like if I look them up, I'm like they like who you are, who you like the pictures that you post or who you show yourself to be and who I know you to be are like two completely different people. So it's like
Right.
what are we gauging? I think there's that. I think certain artists I think just have kind of I don't know, maybe lost themselves in it. Like
Mm.
like Drake, I've liked a lot of Drake's music, his productions and everything. Kind of the direction that he's taken right now, I'm just like not so sure about it. I'm not sure who he's trying to like appeal to. There's like a lot of like I know there's a lot of like personal like sex stories, I guess, and a lot of different
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
Um, like porno rap, I guess you could say. That's like super there's a lot of that's prevalent. Even on the radio, it's a lot of like female rap songs are just kind of very like implicitly or like underlined, like they're just hypersexual.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think like I don't think sexuality is a bad thing, but I think it's something that ought to be like respected and
Yeah.
respected in a way that, like you respect it the same way like when you're playing a game of Texas Hold'em, you don't show your cards till the end,
Right.
like, it's so but no disrespect towards like these people. This is like, you know, there there's opinions that are saying that this is okay and this is what leads to success, so people
Well,
are taking that. So I don't want to like lay the blame on it, but if I just look at the art, the product of it, that's what I
yeah.
see from the product, and I just don't think that it's not timeless. It just doesn't last.
Exactly, exactly. Because you could think about the artists that, like your Michael Jacksons, like you said, Bono, you can go back to, I mean, so many people, Whitney Houston, like you could put on a song and like it's timeless. It's withstood
Mhm.
the test of time. It's still really good till this day, even as,
Absolutely.
they passed on. But nowadays, I think we're in such a fast-paced, there's AI, we're in a digital world where everything's just so fast. We're getting so much information. It's like overload. So they're just
Hmm.
pumping out music that is honestly, I think, kind of harmful for a lot of young kids. But, you know, I don't tell people like, not, knocking people's like, creative expression, do your thing. But like, I just feel like, there's not many, no one really wants to hear really good music anymore, I guess.
Hmm. No, yeah, I feel you. At least not the mob,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So there's still fans of YouTube, of old YouTube music, and classical music. There's still people that listen to that. I know a lot of people my age, a lot of my friends, if they're not listening to like newer stuff, a lot of times they're exploring older music, like the
Yeah.
Eagles or yeah, I guess electric light orchestra, I think it's what it's called. It's bands like those, like they're just
Mm.
kind of going back to the older stuff. I think maybe because the newer music just, yeah, it's all got like a similar, it all just kind of has a similar sound to it.
Yeah,
So,
it does.
but
It
we'll see where the future goes.
We'll see. We have people like yourself that want to, really talk about different things that are very different and interesting. I feel like that's very refreshing to know that,
Thank you.
there are people like yourself out there that want to, talk about things that are not just surface. Um, so my question to you is what keeps you motivated, when in tough times, when you feel like things are not moving as fast as you want it to be.
Mhm. Yeah, that happens all the time for me. I feel like my patience is just constantly tested. And I just think, I think really it's my relationship with God.
Love that.
Um, like there's a time for scattering and there's a time for gathering. So I know like whenever I think I've been foolish and try to push things along faster than they're supposed to go. Whether it's things at work or whether it's things with relationships or with my music. And I feel like I've learned the hard way with that stuff that you just kind of got to be patient. Like a bird can't fly from the nest until its wings are fully grown. So and if
Mhm.
it does, it'll just fall to the ground. And it doesn't feel good, hitting that ground either. So, yeah, so I think patience is, that's I think I learn a little bit of patience every single day, and yeah, and I think it's God who teaches that to me. So
Love that. That's beautiful. Love that. I 1000% agree. Um,
awesome.
the three levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose or have one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
Oh, I think I would take respect. Power is dangerous and money is dangerous. I have like enough money to provide for myself. More money is always nice, but I think respect is, um, yeah, I think if someone was like choose one of the three, what would you do? I would choose respect. So, um, but I would just want to make sure that I be respected for the right reasons,
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
so because you could be respected for your power or your money. So I guess like you can get kind of sticky with it. Uh, so, but I think respect. That of those three, that's what I'd choose.
I like that. I like that. Okay, really, really fun one. You have to get rid of two, and you got to keep one. So you got Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, and Eminem. Which one are you keeping? Which
Oh,
one are you
Little
getting rid
Wayne
of?
all day. Little Wayne all day. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Jay-Z's great, but I think, yeah, I don't know. I haven't been able to get through Jay-Z's catalog like all at once. I've been
Hmm.
through Little Wayne's entire catalog and a good amount of them multiple times. And Eminem's good, but when Eminem's good, he's like better than Little Wayne. But when Eminem's bad, he's just I don't know. I'm just it's yeah, it's really bad. Yeah, Little Wayne all day. I really like Little Wayne.
Nice.
His song on the Carter Five, Let It All Work Out, when he talks about the time that when he was a kid and he was tried to shoot himself. That song
Mm.
just like to this day just like touches a part of my heart whenever I listen to it, whenever I stumble upon it. His flow and his other songs, like his creativity. Yeah, it gets a little profane and raunchy at times, but just how he's able to just it's just like it's sometimes like comically clever and
Yeah.
awesome just how he's able to, what he's able to do. So I love his music videos. I love him as a person too, just listening to him talk. He's such like this calm, like understanding guy. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm a Packer fan. Little Wayne's a Packer fan, so if there's one rapper that I would love to meet more than anybody, I think it would probably be Little Wayne.
Nice.
So yeah.
Very, very cool. I love this part of the show where I like, a lot of listeners They write me and they love hearing from, people like yourself, the artists, the people that are doing it. Their questions always is, what advice would you give to them, to those, that are trying to get into the music world?
Mm. Oh, geez. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure how I don't know how to gauge any of my present, like how many views I've gotten
Mm-hmm.
with because this is like my first time really promoting something. So
Yeah.
I think on Spotify, I think I'm at about 50K right now.
Nice.
It streams. So it's like it's going okay. It's going all right. Like I don't know what I don't know what the low end or the high end of it looks like. So I don't know. I don't know if I would like deem myself like successful. I don't have like any stands or anything. So um yeah, but I would say that if they do want to like make something that sounds good, because I mean a lot of my friends tell me that they think my music sounds good and they think I'm like doing good, and I don't think they're just saying it because they're nice. I would really say like just keep like practicing. Practice makes perfect. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, kind of thing, especially when it comes to rap. Um, and not to like over obsess over it too. Like I think if sometimes if you look too closely at certain details, um, I once got stuck on one song for a year and I just kept trying to do it over and over and over again. And it just never turned out like how I wanted it to. And I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna do it again, do it again, do it again. And it's really funny because the song was called Mono Taking Me. And I eventually made it under my last name, and then I just didn't do anything with it. But then when I took the same lyrics and I did it again, and then those are now the rap lyrics to the song Do It Again, which I think I didn't even think about it. It kind of is, yeah, it's kind of ironic that that's what those lyrics are. But yeah, so I think I would just say like persevering through it, having fortitude, um, yeah, and just not not psyching yourself out about it. Once if it's not this time, there's parts where it's not fun,
Hmm.
but if you're there at the studio and you're excited about it and it's not turning out that great, you can't just quit just because you're not having a good time. So there's times to persevere, and there's times where it's easy and it's fun and you keep going. If you're not liking it at all, then just put it down, if
Yeah.
you're having fun with it, go with it. It's hard to force yourself to make good art, at least for me. That's
Hmm.
what I would say. Just, try to be moderate with it, I would say.
Hmm. That's great. Great advice. Also, where can people find you on social media? And do you have anything coming up?
I am just working on stuff. I don't know when I will record it, just because I'm kind of back to my advice. I'm kind of getting into with all the promotion. I'm just kind of getting to a point with it where I'm starting to feel a little overwhelmed
Yeah.
um with it between like trying to write, trying to promote, and then trying to do everything at work. And I'm just like, so I'm thinking I might step back from what I'm working on, um, and we'll see. So I could like in theory probably like do 10 tracks here pretty soon, but I think I'm just gonna wait on it. Just let them just keep working on them. So there'll be something in the future. Uh,
Awesome.
it'd be really different than Manhattan. It'd be more chorus heavy, and yeah, some of them will probably be a little deeper lyrics. I kind of didn't. Yeah, I try not to. I just use some heavier words, heavier tones. So, and then different stuff too, trying to, push the envelope a little bit. But, and I think I don't really, I mean, I have an Instagram, but I don't really update it ever. But if somebody wants to email me, um, I have like a YouTube. The handle is Fortitude333. If somebody wants to email me, it'd be fortitudemusic333 at gmail.com. So yeah, that's it. I don't have too many like profiles up or anything. So
No, awesome. Thank you so much. This was really a pleasure talking to you and getting
same.
to know a little bit about your story. Thank you so much for having us. It was great.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time.